Yeah, I'm already from Germany, from Munich.
My name's Sam, I'm 19, from Wales.
I am Ben, also known as Kung Fu Sound Man.
Okay, I'm Jonathan, I'm from East London.
My name's Abby, I'm 20, I'm from Brighton.
My name is Shannon and I'm an international student. I come originally from India.
Hi, I'm Mark, I'm from Leicester and I've come to the UAE as a mature student.
My name's Frances and I study development and Spanish.
Yeah, basically I always wanted to go into this direction, to something with people, something with development. I've always found interesting, and I couldn't decide if I really want to do basically only social sciences. I couldn't motivate myself to do it, and then finally I found development studies on the web, and it was perfect. That's just my subject, and I applied for it.
Always been interested in it, grown up in a family which is quite... We travelled a lot. My parents were missionaries when I was younger, and then they got into sort of other age sort of work, so I've been around the bush a bit with all that. And I don't know, at first I wanted to do something maybe a bit different from them, and then I realised it's what I love doing, so sort of following in my parents' footsteps, unfortunately.
I did the Science Foundation with the intention to do environmental science, and during the course did quite a bit of research into this and into that, and environmental geography with international development. And I actually applied for that. Didn't get the grades for that, but got the grades for this. And the more I looked into this, the more I thought, actually, this is the area I want to go into. This is the area that interests me the most.
Yeah, I've always been interested in kind of like issues to do with development. I've been really interested in developing countries. I've always liked hearing about people who've been to developing countries and their experiences. Particularly interested in Latin America. I went to Guatemala in my year out for a bit and had a really good time.
I never thought about studying development before I went away to South America. I was due to study German and history, which was kind of what I'd studied all through school. And then I met people that worked on projects and people that had studied this kind of thing, and they were going on to do careers in development, and that changed my mind.
My parents are both involved with development work. My dad mainly is into renewable energy and sustainable development, and so I've always had an NGO based and going into rural villages sort of upbringing in my life, and I've always been interested in development. We've always had very lively debates at home, and so that comes, I think, innate to me, that passion for working with people. Apart from that, I also enjoy meeting new people and people from different cultures, and so development just sums it all up together. It's the perfect course.
I went travelling for 3 years not so long ago, and during which period I did quite a few voluntary projects when I was abroad, and now I've been back for a couple of years. I've decided that I want to further that and make it into a career.
Well, I was going to go and do business in Spanish, but then I like watching the news and I kind of get angry when you see things, state of the world and things, and so I just applied on a whim to Norwich to do development studies, and I came here and I'm really glad I did.
The UEA had an amazing course on offer. They gave an overseas placement option, which I was really keen on. And the course outline was perfect because I wanted to do social analysis and economics together with a little bit of mix between the two. And plus 4 hours is a perfect drive, so my parents can't sneak in and drop me surprise visits, so it's the perfect distance.
Because UEA has one of the most established development schools in the country, I thought it would be definitely a good one to study at. I really like the motto of UEA as well, do different. It suited me. I wasn't a standard student. I've come here a bit older than most people are. And when I came here, I just felt at home, and I felt like I could develop as an individual here.
Yeah, I just heard that UEA is really good for development studies. It's one of the main sort of centres in England, and yeah, that's proved right. And in Britain. And also I went to open day at UEA, and I really liked the look of it, and I know someone has just finished at UEA and they had a really good time, and yeah, it just seemed a really good university, which also has proved right.
When I went travelling, I knew there was a reason for it, but I never actually got the answers. And then one day I just happened to be reading a new internationalist magazine, and I saw an advertisement for Norwich University in this degree, and I just knew as soon as I saw it that that's what I was meant to be doing.
So far it's going really well. I think still got a lot to learn, but it's a lot of what I expected.
I mean, I've always been quite interested in development, and when I looked at the course perspectives, it gave me a very clear picture of what the course was going to be like, and it was very much what I wanted it to be. It was looking into different cultures and having an economics perspective and a social analysis perspective, which so it's fitting in very well to what they described it to be, and so I'm really enjoying it actually.
It's fantastic. I'm really enjoying it so far. Pretty much what I expected. Quite a lot of reading. I'm from a science background, and that was a bit of a shock to the system, but you get used to it, and it's really interesting reading, so that's fine. And I'm loving it so far. I'm really enjoying it.
I find it really interesting. It's brilliant. Yeah, the lecturers are brilliant, and yeah, just really interesting. Yeah, it doesn't seem like work, kind of, sometimes, the lectures.
The more classes I go to, the more I'm glad I'm here and studying it, and the more interested I become.
The people that study development is actually a lot bigger mix than I expected. However, on the whole, they're very open people. They come from a variety of backgrounds. We've got lots of international students, lots of home students, a whole range of ages. They've done lots of different things, but they're all open, and I found on the whole they're a lot friendlier bunch than I think do some other subjects, because they've travelled, they've had to meet new people, and even if they haven't travelled, they've just got a very open and a very kind of different perspective on the world, and on the whole they want to do good, so they're nice people to know.
It's quite a fun subject that everybody here enjoys getting involved with different projects and fundraising, and and they're all interested in debating and things, which is always quite good. Get a lot of varied views of the world.
Very interesting people, very open people. I have noticed that people are really open. The first day here, I got to know so many more people kind of on the first day here than I did throughout the whole of last year, because people are just so willing to go up to you and shake your hand, introduce themselves, and start up a conversation, which is really refreshing, and you don't get it that often. So there's a really good calibre of person in there on this course, and it's quite exciting to be a part of it.
I think the common assumption is there's going to be a lot of maybe hippie sort of people on this course, which there are, and they're great actually, but it actually seems to attract a lot of driven people, because it's not the sort of course, I wouldn't say it's a degree where you're going to end up earning a lot of money from it, or it's not going to put you into a line of work where you've got the fixed job for life. You have to be interested. You have to actually care about the subject, care about people. I think that's very important.
Hopefully within development somewhere. I would love to do coral conservation. I dive as well, and that's a real passion of mine. And so some form of conservation of marine life.
When I graduate, I'd like to work overseas doing development work.
I didn't think the course would be that good for getting a career or getting a job. I just thought it'd be interesting, but actually now I'm here, it gives you a lot of knowledge about, working for NGOs and going off and doing journalism or anything. So yeah, the world's my oyster, really.
So eventually I would want to work in the charity or the social sector.
I don't make any plans anymore.
I think that's the point, really. We could be anywhere, because there's so many. The world's changing every day, and who knows where we're going to be needed in 10 years' time.
I'd just say, if you're thinking about studying development studies, UEA is a brilliant place to go. It's really good lecturers. It's a really nice university, and I think you have a really good time and really learn lots.
Just go for it. It's really interesting stuff, and for me, there's no more interesting subject than development studies. And every single matter is interesting. So just go for it and get yourself in it.
Take a year out. I'd definitely suggest that, and then just discover if this is actually what you want to be doing, and then if it is, come here.